So we finally got down to what it was we were waiting on. We were waiting. This is not even going to be a long review because it could have been done on part two. There didn't have to be a part. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to pull my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Real Housewives of Potomac. This is the reunion. This is episode 21 of season 4, which is part 3 of the reunion. This could have been done last week. The review's not even going to be that long because it's all of the stuff that we've been waiting on, which is the men to come out and Michael and see how all of this goes. So let's just get on into it. First things first. Michael came onto the stage. I said, oh, privilege. Privilege. Okay? Male, white privilege came onto the stage. And he literally got up on the stage, and first thing he did was chastise the cast. Michael, if you don't sit your funny looking ass down somewhere, I couldn't believe it. Literally chastised them. And baby Karen Huger, LaDom wasn't having it. She said, who are you talking to, honey? Her energy was very combative. You don't sit down here and come and chastise us. We're grown women. I said, come on through, Karen. She got Michael right together. I couldn't believe him. I could not believe him. And he came in and he just, his too was, it was crazy. I was just looking at him and Ashley like, okay. I call bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. It was what it was. Too much. It's just all these stories. And I'm like, you know, when you start compiling all this is a mess. Everybody not lying on you, Michael. All the footage is all lying. It's all just lies, 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 lies. Everybody's lying on Michael. Are they? That's what happened. Privilege. Privilege and money actually made you feel as though you could. And the more we spoke and the further we came, it just was what it was. But there were people like Karen who wasn't having it. And Karen went in. Okay? Then he jumps in and he starts discredit. And I was surprised because the other men were really letting him talk. And I was shocked. But they were playing nice. They were letting him talk. He kept over talking people. And I just really didn't like that. Yeah, it was like Andy wasn't even there anymore. It was the Michael show. It just didn't sit well with me. But anyway, so Michael comes and will discredit Robin's whole situation and painting her picture that she was just a drunken, like a fall down drunk. Like nothing that she's saying has any credibility to it because she was just fall down drunk, white girl wasted. She wasn't no drunker than the rest of you all. She wasn't no drunker than the rest of you all. And if there's somebody that I would believe, I'll definitely believe Robin because we all know how Robin feel about Juan. Now this is the one time we're gonna go on, and I got to get your back, Robin. We know how Robin feels about Juan. We ain't so sure about how Juan feel about Robin, but we know how Robin feels about Juan. So if Robin said rather that you said you was willing to suck Juan's dick, you said it, and it bothered her because it bothered her. Okay, you said it. And when you said it, tell the truth, shame the devil, it probably sobered her all the way up. How they like, what? With who? When? Not my man, honey. She went straight into don't mess with my man. Don't mess with my man. She was ready to windmill you, truth be told. So I believe Robin. I do. I could be wrong, but I'm team Robin on this one. And she tried to play nice. She tried to be because she never wanted to actually say that it was Juan and all. And I understood all of that because it puts Juan in a predicament. You know what I mean? I understood where she was coming from, but it was just too much. All of that, and then wait a minute. When he got down and going to say to Candiace, yeah, that whole thing with Candiace is the one he kept over talking. I was like, he gonna keep on until Chris beat his ass. That's what I was waiting on. I was waiting on Chris to get up and go over there and yank Michael because he was doing the most. Kept over talking Candiace, then discredits her like, she don't know nothing and she ain't smart enough to even be credible. And then told her, I should have pressed charges on you about the way you treated Ashley. And I was like, Candiace, just shut up. Let Chris talk. Because what Candiace said, she was trespassing. And said she wasn't trespassing. Girl, you had her invited her to a dinner party. But the fact of the matter is she did put her out and she did come back in. But it wouldn't have been seen as trespassing. But nice try, Candiace. Let Chris take care of it, baby. You're married now. Let your husband talk, honey. But Chris says, so what? So nobody had, well, he got sick of it. So nobody has any credibility except for you, huh, Michael? And then they were having that little back and forth. I was like, Michael, now I'm telling you, you get ready to get beat up. Now you doing a whole lot. Y'all not on the same playing field. You're doing this whole thing of, he kept making these different things, and I was getting mad at Andy because Andy was kind of helping it along with this. Oh, well, maybe they act like this over in Australia as opposed to over here. Listen, let me tell you something. Michael has been over here long enough to know that we don't play all that butt grabbing and cocksucking mess over here. No, people are not as sexually fluid over here on this side of the water, honey. We don't do all that here. And he's been there long enough to know it. And he knows that he violated. Andy, we ain't asking you to usher in. Just shut your mouth. See, because he kept on trying to lean on the differences. Screw the differences. You've been here long enough to know. Just like you piped down some when Chris started speaking. You know the difference between your type of white man and Chris's type of white man. That's why you piped down. You was talking that hot shit, when we were involving these women and involving Andy. But then when Chris started speaking up and started saying, you sure did calm down. You sure did calm down because you understand that Chris is a different type of white man than you are. And Chris will beat your ass. And you understood that. Just like you understand that over in Australia, maybe you can rub on the boys' butts. But over here in America, that butt rubbing will get you beat up. It'll get you sued. It'll get you in jail. But for the most part, it'll get your ass whooped. All that butt rubbing. And you've been really getting away with it. And you need to stop. We done seen you being inappropriate time after time after time after time. And then your attitude is just bad about this whole thing. I was like, I didn't know how to feel about this, as we were going through the season. But you're two on this stage. Mm-mm, mm-mm. And then you can see where Juan got very uncomfortable. And then Juan was like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. You didn't push the issue with that because you've been around long enough to know not to push the issue with Juan. And you really like Juan too, so you don't want Juan to be pissed off with you. You like Juan, I believe, as much as Robin likes Juan. Robin, girl, watch him, honey. Anyway, then We thought Juan was getting ready to really say something and really blurt out something and really carry on. And here it was. Juan had to pay. I was like, this is a clown fest. This is a complete clown fest. He got on up and went to pee and came on back and everything was fine. This is the thing that got on my nerves too. When all the girls were rallying and attacking Michael and being pissed with Michael all over Ashley. Hey y'all. I wanted to just like run up from the audience and say, hey, she not mad. Why y'all mad? Who cares? Who cares? She sat there. She don't feel as though he disrespects her, and he really did. You came. It's like bringing your mate to your Christmas party at work, and your mate goes up and grabs your boss in the crotch. You've now disrespected your wife. She didn't feel that way. She ain't arguing, fussing, and fighting. Y'all drop it. The hell with it. The hell with it. The hell with him. And the hell with her. Period. That's how I felt about it anyway. Then we move on. Then Ray and Michael got into it. You remember when last season they talked about butt grabbing then? And Ray told him, if you grab my butt, I'll probably bust him in the mouth. But then Ray comes out with the story and says, I saw you do this to someone else. And it ain't nothing that's ever been reported. And everybody's like, well, child, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Last reunion, I saw you rub Andy's butt. I said, see, y'all be thinking Ray is old, not out of touch and not paying attention. Ray's old ass is sitting back there and ain't missing nothing. He done rubbed Andy's butt, and Andy will say, well, I don't remember, but I'm sure I didn't mind. I'm sure you didn't. Bravo, Andy. I'm sure you didn't. I laughed. I said, oh, Ray done came and lowered the boom on him, honey. I said, come on through, Ray. And Karen was just as tickled. She was just as tickled. It's not like when Ray tells the story. Let Ray tell the story. Anyway, then when they broke off, and they were going out for break and all that. And the men were getting ready to leave and everything. Michael, you got to see the real Michael again. Went over there and gonna tell Giselle about how she was out of line and stuff. Said, get out of her goddamn face. Get out of her face and get out of here. You're doing too much. And I said, and look at just the comments. Like, you could see like what we ain't been seeing about Michael. We seen little glimpses, but then I think it was either Candiace or Robin was like, he is an arrogant prick. So he just got a whole new view on Mr. Michael. You got a lot going on, pal. Then there was this whole little thing with Ashley and Karen after that. And Ashley's still going on and on. And then she had the nerve to accuse Karen of cheating on Ray with blue eyes. We did all that last season. You trying to deflect from what that went on with you and your whole ordeal. They squashed it out, and Karen was just like, girl, whatever. Maybe we'd be able to fix our friendship. I'm like, I don't know, that performance because I was kind of giving Karen the blues about how Karen kept like saying about Michael and how she could separate Michael and Ashley, and she didn't want to be bothered with Michael, but she was cool with Ashley. Now I'm kind of seeing, but again, I'm seeing something different. And she was saying, more about the violations that he did, and I just didn't understand because I'm like, well, don't worry about it, Karen, because he's not going to touch you. You know what I mean? He grabbing men's butts. But that arrogant part of it, I'm thinking maybe some of that, maybe the cast has seen some of that, because I'm telling you right now, that turned me up. Like, I wouldn't want to be around him or Ashley at all. That little thing, that would make me jump on Michael. All that talking over people and talking down. I felt like he was talking down to them, like all of them. I just didn't care for it. Yeah, and I wouldn't want to be bothered. Then we had a little thing, when we were wrapping it up where Monique and Candiace actually patched up their thing. So they're going to work back on their friendship. So that was pretty good. That was cool. Um, yeah, it is what it is. But this was the part we were waiting on. And we definitely, that last week's piece, we didn't need that. We could have just did this right here. And we would have been okay. We really would have been okay. Yeah. And that's a wrap on Real Housewives of Potomac. I'll catch y'all next season. All right. Y'all ain't got to bring Michael and Ashley back if you don't want to.